So Lord of the Rings Online has had a rather tumultuous development cycle, but the end result here, and what you see on store shelves, is a pretty stable product, which is good, considering a lot of MMOs launch in horribly buggy states. So the fact that this one isn't all that buggy and performs pretty well, at least on the systems we tested it on, that goes a long way towards making it an entertaining product. If you've played an MMO before, you're going to find that this game is pretty familiar to what you've experienced. Take your skills, throw them on your hotbar, go up to enemies, hit 1, 2, 3, 4 a bunch of times until the enemy falls over. And that's basically it. Pick up quests in town centers and go out in the environment and kill X number of baddies, or find, a certain amount of things that a specific creature drops, or, that kind of thing. Standard quests, but it's still a lot of fun. There are a few things that help this game stand out from being just another generic MMO. Obviously, the license is one. It's Lord of the Rings. You get all sorts of characters in there from the books, and while the main quest doesn't specifically follow the quest in the books, you get indications through NPCs about what exactly is happening in the book story, but you're basically fighting against the forces of Angmar and trying to more or less protect or make safe the zone so that Frodo and crew can get out. Another thing that's pretty cool about this game is the deed system. So, every time you go into a new zone and you kill, some bog lurker or something, some creature, it'll give you a little deed quest where you have to kill a certain number of those, and then you get a little title for your guy. You kill more, you get a trait. And a trait will modify your stats somehow. So that's the way that you customize your class beyond, obviously, what the class is capable of. And then you get ones for zones, for killing things, for discovering stuff, and then you get ones that are class-specific, and you get race-specific ones, and eventually you get legendary traits. And that's, if there's a valid comparison, it'd be something like the talent tree in World of Warcraft, although it doesn't really work the same way. But it's still pretty cool because you get rewards for just going out and killing stuff randomly, and it's not like these are specific quests. It's like, so while you're doing quests and turning them back into NPCs, you're killing these creatures at the same time, so you'll just sort of be wandering around, kill some guy, and then be like, oh, wow, I just got a new trait. And, you hadn't specifically set out to do that, but you got it anyway, so it's just a nice reward system like that. Some of the deeds require you to kill large numbers of creatures, which can be annoying, and you can wind up, grinding for specific traits. But still, the grinding in this game is nowhere close to, more hardcore MMOs of the past. It still feels like a really fluid, dynamic game, just because there are a lot of quests. The game pushes you through the different town centers and zones pretty quickly. So that's nice, just because it helps keep the experience fresh, and you don't feel like everything is just devolving into a stagnating kill same creature for X number of hours type of affair. So it makes it feel like more of a game and less of a chore. So while you can definitely solo in this game, but soloing gets kind of boring because you do wind up just sort of killing creatures over and over. And there are a bunch of group quests in the game that you'll eventually run into per zone. So you get environmental group quests where you've just got elite mobs wandering around the countryside or in camps or whatever. Then you've got the story main quests, and these things have all sorts of NPC interaction and dynamic plot development that happens in the instance mission, which makes them really engaging because you actually want to find out what's happening instead of just kill the end boss for a loot drop. And then you've got adventure instances, as Turbine calls them, which are sort of separated from the main story and sort of the larger areas where you go with your group, or fellowship as they're called in this game, of 6 people, and kill a whole bunch of elite guys to try and get armor and weapons, that sort of thing. If you're going to spend hundreds and hundreds of hours in a fantasy world, you really want it to look nice. Otherwise you're going to be pissed if you're staring at a cliff wall and it looks like a piece of cardboard. That's not really immersive. Thankfully, this game looks gorgeous, especially the environments, and there's some great armor and weapon designs. The monsters look cool. Fighting trolls and giants is pretty fun, and they animate well. So that really adds to the game's appeal. So if you really want to pick on Lord of the Rings Online, then you could say that it doesn't do anything new. And it does in little respects, but it's very small scale. The large scale aspects of the game, yeah, you've probably played it before. But it's executed so well here, and everything's so polished and works together so well that it's really difficult to dislike. I mean, this is a really accessible package here. It's one of those games that you can, well, one of those MMOs that you can hop into, you can get something done in an hour and pop back out. And that's largely because the game just has a lot of quests that don't really take all that long to do. I mean, some of the higher level ones do, but still, there's plenty there that can be completed rather quickly. The quest descriptions are really detailed, so you know where to go, and if you leave the game, you can come back and pick it right up again. So this is not one of those life-draining MMOs. You do not need to do quests all day long to get anything done. You do not need to sit in the same area and kill the same creature 5 million times to progress. This is a game where you can just hop in, you get something done in like an hour or whatever, you pop back out, you've still got plenty of time for everything else going on in your life, which is nice. And, you know, it's a great looking game, it plays well, it may not do anything drastically new, but what is there is executed very capably. So, you know, good game.